Hi, it's Mark. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been one of the big recent topics at cocktail parties. So I'm going to cover today is a history of Bitcoin and what I think about Bitcoin and whether you should be one of those people talking about Bitcoin at your future cocktail parties. I'm really pumped to share this with you. First, if you could do me a favor, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. And as always, if you could help me out with the YouTube algorithm and smash that like button. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency which was developed in 2008. Cryptocurrency or crypto is simply a new form of currency or money. Bitcoin is mined on computers and then it's stored on a series of computers. It's not backed by gold or any country or anything. The only reason it has value is because people believe in it and they accept it and they believe that it has value. Bitcoin is transferred computer to computer rather than person to person. It can be accessed on computers or thumb drives or tablets via what's called a wallet, which is simply a software program. You can sort of think about the wallet as a bank portal, like if you log into your checking account at a large bank, you can get into your checking account that way. You have a username and a password and account, and you log into the bank's website and you can see your checking account or savings account information that way. Bitcoin has value related to any other currency. So much of the same way, if you have a US dollar, you could transfer that into a French franc or a euro or a Japanese yen. You can do the same with Bitcoin. You can also use Bitcoin to purchase goods and services or to pay other people. The original program which created Bitcoin and which allows it to be mined limited the total number of Bitcoin to 21 million. When that number of Bitcoin is reached, no more Bitcoin may be mined. Because of this artificial ceiling on supply, many people consider Bitcoin to be a hedge against inflation, as opposed to, say, for example, currencies such as the dollar or the yen, which are country-based and which can be created forever up to any amount. So because there's a limit on the total number of Bitcoin that can be in circulation at any time, people consider this a hedge against inflation. But is Bitcoin really a hedge against inflation? Let's take a look. The simple answer is that we don't know. Bitcoin hasn't been around long enough to determine what happens to the value of Bitcoin when there's large inflation. If you look at this chart, you can see that inflation has been quite tame during the lifetime of Bitcoin. What we do know is that Bitcoin is quite volatile. You can see from this chart that it has increased from 327 at the end of 2015 to over 39,000 in 2021. But it also fell from 19,500 at the end of 2017 to 3,100 at the end of 2018. That's a drop of 84%. Another issue with Bitcoin as an inflation hedge is that it has no other intrinsic uses as opposed to being a currency. As opposed to, say, gold. Gold does have other uses. It's used in dentistry, electronics, and of course, jewelry. Additionally, much like gold, storing Bitcoin is not free since it's stored on computers and you simply access it remotely from your computer or tablet. There are storage costs. These storage costs have typically been around 2.4%. Bitcoin does not produce any income. It doesn't throw off rents or dividends or interest. It's actually a wasting asset. It costs you to hold it. The only way that you make money from Bitcoin is if the value of Bitcoin versus other currencies increases. Another hedge against inflation, for example, is real estate. Real estate has historically gone up a lot as prices have gone up, and additionally, real estate throws off income. You can sell real estate like you can sell Bitcoin, but additionally you can hold real estate for rents. It also can be a tax benefit to you. Bitcoin does not have any of these benefits as opposed to gold or real estate in terms of being an inflation hedge. Another problem with Bitcoin is that it's not insured by any government or any entity. There have been numerous incidents of Bitcoin storage being hacked. And when that happens, there's nobody to back you up if the storage company doesn't want to stand behind their product and reimburse you. And so far, they haven't. Between 2010 and 2018, $1.8 billion worth of Bitcoin was stolen. Computer hackers hack into computers where the Bitcoin is stored, and they cart off the Bitcoin much like they would cart off gold. And once it's gone, it's gone. In the case of, for example, an FDIC insured checking account or savings account in the United States, if that were to happen, if somebody were to hack into a major bank and liquidate your bank account, the bank would probably make you whole because for goodwill and their reputation they would need to. But even if they didn't, the federal government would make you whole. There is no such entity with Bitcoin. If your account is hacked and the funds are stolen, there's nobody who insures it and who will reimburse you. This is what's called a problem that people having access to your Bitcoin who should not have access. You have what's called a private key to access your Bitcoin. You can think of it as a bank account. It's sort of like that. It's a number that you enter into the wallet, and that gives you access to your Bitcoin so you can see it, you can receive Bitcoin into that wallet, and you can transfer out Bitcoin as well. It's important that you maintain control of the physical device that your wallet is stored on, be it a tablet or a USB stick, and that you have a backup, because if you lose that physical device, you may lose access to your Bitcoin. There is a 12-word recovery phrase that you can use to enter into the wallet to recover your Bitcoin, but if you don't know that, then the Bitcoin is lost forever. So it's quite risky to keep a large amount of your net worth in Bitcoin because you may lose access to it. There is one famous story that is anecdotal and it demonstrates this problem. There was an Englishman named James Howells, and he had two identical laptop hard drives. One of them had his Bitcoin information on it. The other one did not. Unfortunately, he threw away the wrong hard drive. He threw away into the garbage the hard drive that had his Bitcoin information on it. He did realize this later and tried to recover it from the landfill. He went to the city council and said that he would give to them 25% of the value of the Bitcoin, as well as fund any of the searches that were needed in order to recover the Bitcoin hard drive from the landfill. The reason he's willing to do this was that the value of the Bitcoin at the time on the drive was $280 million. Unfortunately, the city council did not grant him permission to search the garbage dump due to environmental and licensing issues. So to this date, as far as we know, Mr. Howells does not have access to his Bitcoin. So it's all bad for Bitcoin, right? Well, no, not exactly. Tesla has accumulated $1.5 billion of Bitcoin, and you will soon be able to buy high-end Teslas, high-end cars from that company using Bitcoin. Now, Elon Musk is a billionaire, and he's certainly been more successful in starting companies and building companies and bringing them public than I ever will be. And it's a philosophy of mine that I don't bet against billionaires, because that's a fantastic way to go broke. So if you're a big believer in Elon Musk, then he's a big believer in Bitcoin. So that's certainly a plus on the Bitcoin ledger. That's what I think about Bitcoin. If you've made it this far in the video, I sure would appreciate it if you would engage with me. If you could leave a question or a comment down below. I do read all of my comments. I would appreciate it. Until next time, I'll see you. Thanks.